Hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
It's a special Sunday night.
Yes, because we're here with Leigh Lennon.
Hey, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. How are you doing, Leigh?
Doing good. Just, dealing with all the release stuff. And
Yes, I'm so excited for your release.
yeah, I was really excited too. And like I've done a couple TikTok lives. Like I told some people, well, I mean, pretty much anybody, that when I wrote this story, it was actually supposed to be a different couple. And they were coming from a different world. And every time I wrote them, it wasn't working out at all. At all. And so Aniston and Luca made like a small appearance in their book. It was supposed to be Sandra and Dom's book. And it was supposed to be kind of a spinoff of my Power 3 Love series. And they just sort of hit a wall. And I was like, you guys are the boringest couple I have ever written. You guys have got to do something. And so Aniston and Luca, they were doing kind of stuff in the background. I was like, oh, you're getting your book. So I'm like taking my documents and I have 3 open, like I'm splicing them and I'm moving stuff over to another document. And I completely took Aniston and Luca out of that story because they were more exciting than the main characters. So they sort of developed out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't plan this book. I didn't have a cover ready for it. I had a cover ready for the other one. I just didn't plan it. And the cover that I had for the other one wouldn't have worked. It just wasn't the right feel. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, I was like 2 weeks almost ready to send it to editing and I didn't have a cover. And my husband's like, do you have a cover for this?
No,
and I was like, no. So I went back, like sometimes we find models that we like and models that we're going to use. And so I bought this picture originally for, and I'm still going to write this one day, but I'm sure you guys can all relate. Like one day I'm going to write this story, but I was going to write a nun and priest book. And I was, Gail's face is like, really?
I like nuns and priests.
Yeah. So I do really want to, and I don't know, I can't tell you what's next for me because that's just the kind of year I've had. But so I went back and I was like, it's going to be at least 2 years before I can write this book. And his beautiful, beautiful face is going to, like it's not doing me any good. Just sitting there. So the more I was writing him, I'm like, oh, that is so Lucas. So I sent it to my designer and I was like, do you think this will work? And she's like, oh, I love that picture. Let's work with it. And so, so that was kind of the story of how I came up with it. And then, because the original story that did not pan out was from a different world, I actually went into a whole nother world. I mean, all my worlds kind of gel and kind of overlap, but I went into an actual BDSM book that I had written a couple years ago. They already had a club and everything like that. And so I did like an elite members kind of thing in the club where like all these billionaires, they pay a couple $100,000 a year to have elite membership because, for a billionaire, that's like, $100 for us. And so that's kind of how I continued the story. Once I moved them over, I'm like, oh, now I have to actually put you somewhere and make sense of where you are. And so that was the main reason it became more of, I would say, a kink club book, because that wasn't really the plan. I mean, all my men have a level of dominance to them, but not all of them are dominant. But they all, are pretty alpha, pretty I'm in control in the bedroom kind of thing. But so then I'm like, oh, well, this is what we're gonna do. And so I kind of, switched them over. And the more that I wrote them, the more I was like, this is the best thing I did. I love them so much, and I just had a good time with them. So that's the story of how the book came about.
Yeah. Although sometimes characters just do that. You could have one idea and then it just becomes something else. So I really like that.
Yeah, me too. And it's funny because a lot of some of the women that interviewed me, they're like, we've heard that from authors before, that their characters took over, and we're always like, but wait, you control the characters. And then she was saying, she's like, I've learned that authors don't always control their characters, that they just sort of have a mind of their own, and that they want to go, because I had like so many side characters that I created that I'm like, oh, I could really make a series out of this if I really wanted to. And some of the TikTokers are already like, oh, can we have this person? Can we have this person?
Yeah.
And I mean, I could write 5, 6, 7 more books in it if I really wanted to. So I would like to, but we'll have to see.
You see what happens. Who talks to you and who doesn't talk to you.
Exactly. So I got ready to come in here, and I'm like, my wine glass was like filled up here. And my husband's like, how long are you going to be back there? I was like, well, these women, they're crazy and they're fun. So I'm going back prepared.
It could be a while.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I keep clearing my throat, so I keep putting it on mute.
oh,
So I have to show. Let me get it up here. Look how gorgeous Leigh's website is.
ooh, ooh, oh, I love it.
Those are all my like naughty books. I mean, we're in the business of writing naughty books, but I gotta tell you a funny story. My little guy, I'm his favorite person in this world. And whenever, I'm like, I hurt myself or I'm frustrated, he's like, oh, what's wrong, Mom? What can I do to help you? And he's just super, super sweet. And he's like my buddy, but, and he's proud of me. And so when he was in the 2nd grade, he went up to his teacher, and we were new in the area, new at the school. And he's like, my mom's a writer. And she's like, oh, really? What does she write? And he's like, all proud. She writes romance. And she's like, and then she's like, really? What does she write under? Does she write under, like your last name, her first name? And he's like, well, no, it's what they call a other name. And she's like, a pseudonym. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I would love to check her out. So he's like, oh yeah, her name is Leigh Lennon. And so he's telling me this, and I'm like,
You're like, oh no.
I'm like, well, I will never be invited to join the PTO. That's for sure. And so I had to just tell him, I was like, you are so sweet. You're my number one cheerleader in life. I was like, but maybe next time we shouldn't tell your teachers.
Exactly what I do.
Yeah. So,
oh, that's so cute. Though he's so proud of you.
yes, he is. And then my teenagers are like, don't you dare tell anybody that you write romance. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. And so,
no.
One of my daughter's best friend's mom was like, now what do you do again? And I was like, oh, so-and-so would kill me if I told you this, but I write romance. And she's like naughty romance? Because I'm all about that. And so she's like, send me some of your books. And so we got home that night. My daughter's like, Mom. I was like, she asked me. I didn't volunteer the information. And so she's
like, I can't lie about it either.
Yeah. And my oldest daughter, when she went off to college, I had packed some stuff kind of, below. And one of them was a mug. And it is the one with like Father Like Son, the model from like Father Like Son on it. And it says, I like silver foxes. And so she's unpacking it, and she comes across it, and I put it down, so she could get a laugh out of it. And she has it in her top cabinet. And some of her friends one day is like, what is this that you like silver foxes? And my daughter's like, well, I'm not going to tell you what her name is, but my mom writes, romance. Well, it's right there on the mug. And so they're like, well, we don't have to be told. It's right there. So yeah, when it comes to my older ones, I'm always like, yeah, how can I embarrass you? Because, I'm sure you've embarrassed me throughout my whole entire life.
Oh, those are beautiful covers. So I love those
I
covers.
know. And look at our Instagram, these teasers.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think teasers are my absolute favorite. Like, not gonna lie, like I love like teaser reveals and just like planning for those. I love those.
I love when authors will sometimes put like a whole collage of teasers together, even if it's not the same book, especially if it's not the same book, because then you get kind of, a variety of things. And I just love seeing, how, because I've tried teasers before. I just can't seem to do my own teasers. And even with this last one, this one person who has come on to help me a little bit, I sent her one. I was like, look, Carrie, look what I did. Didn't I do good? And she's like, send me everything. I'm going to redo everything. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, that answers my question. So, but yeah, I love teasers, and I'll go back and look at all my teasers. Oh yeah, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I love them.
Yeah, especially my threesome ones, because I mean, there's a whole other level to like naughtiness with those. And
Yeah.
in the last couple of years, I've pretty much sort of written under the umbrella of forbidden. I mean, from taboo with like father like son, or MMF, or MM, because there's still a level of forbidden, unfortunately, in the society about that. And so, and then of course, I love writing a good kink book. I mean, like I enjoyed writing. The ones I've done in the past. I hadn't in a while done one, and when it kind of showed that's where I was going with it, I was like, oh, I love doing these. I'm always like doing a lot of research to make sure that it's done right. And but in my BDSM books, I write a lot. I write very strictly about consent, like how the submissive holds the power, and how she can take that away at any time, and safe words and all that kind of stuff. So that's really kind of like my focus in BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yeah, all my cringy TikToks there.
What's Stockholm about?
Stockholm is a dark romance about a guy that kidnaps a girl from her college town, and takes her. So it takes place in she's from Washington State, not very far from the border. If you're familiar with Washington State, that's where I'm from. So it helps to write sometimes what you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a town, basically like the last town before you get to the Canadian border. And so he kidnaps her, and takes her across the Canadian border. This was kind of back when things weren't as strict on the borders.
Sure.
And because there's kind of it kind of goes back and forth, like dual, like past and then present, back and forth every chapter. And so he takes her, and she falls in love with him, and chooses to live a life with him instead of going back with her family. And there's a lot of suspense, a lot of reasons you don't know about at first why she chooses it, and even the reason why he kidnapped her. Like he has a very specific reason why he did this, and you don't know about it until like she finally admits to it. And so the idea about it is basically like, can your kidnapper be your savior? Can somebody who kidnaps you and takes you away from your family be somebody you can fall in love with? And so I will say that was one of my first books. So I want to go back and have that edited. And I would like to, because the kidnapper's point of view is not in that story, really. It's written in the POV of 3 women. And so his POV does not begin until the epilogue, and it does not end on a cliffhanger. But it does, once you read the epilogue, it makes sense why he does what he does. And so I always said that I was going to go back and write his side of the story from the very beginning, from his, onset of why he did this.
Mhm.
And but I haven't. And if Kelly was on right now, she would probably be like, "Oh, that's when you promised me."
It's
Again,
ones
one
you
of
said
those
you
things
might.
that I try not to, yeah. And I started to do that as like a newsletter kind of uh teaser sort of. And I just got busy with other things. And
Yeah.
so, but I would love, as my plan is to go back, edit it, and as I'm editing it, write his side of the story. But best laid plans, right?
Yeah, sometimes things just get busy. I get it. So.
Yeah. So, but that was one of my favorite books I've written in. And it was funny, I'd written it first as like a mystery, and so then I went back and I wanted to make it like a romantic suspense.
Yeah.
And adding in some of the sexy scenes, some of the naughty scenes. Like, my friend first started reading it as a suspense novel, and then she started reading it as romantic suspense. And the first like crazy scene, it's your basic, like toss everything off the table, I'm going to take you right there sort of scene. And she was like, whoa, I can't handle this. So,
I
but
love it.
oh
I
yeah,
kind of like the stalkerish kind of, kidnapping
Oh,
ones. I
yeah.
like those every once in a while.
yeah. I would like to go back and delve a little bit into darker, because that was going to be I was wanting to sort of do like more darker.
Mhm.
But it's funny, like I say I'm going to do something, like I was going to write a rom-com. I can't write a rom-com. I mean, like, I have people say, "Oh, you should write a rom-com. You're funny." And I'm like, not really. I'm really not that funny.
I
I'm
don't
not
think that that's one I could write either. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I will read a rom-com every so often. I really want to, because people rave about Megan Quinn's rom-coms, and
Yeah.
I really want to read one of hers, especially like something that deals with hockey or something, anything that deals with sports. But I don't know. I just have to be in the mood. So, but I mean, I'll have elements of funny things. Like, I
Yeah.
wrote this scene in a book about how this doctor gets called to his son's school, and he thinks that his son is being hurt. So he's
Mhm.
on call, but he's like, I've got to go. And so he gets to the school, and this is an MMF book, but he gets to the school, and the male teacher, the kindergarten male teacher, he's like, kindergarten teachers are not supposed to be hot males. Like, they're supposed to be petite women in pencil skirts. Like, like a hot male is not. And so he gets in there, and he's Irish, so he calls him the headmaster. But he gets in there, and he's like, "Well, we've had a problem with your son. He keeps on telling all the girls that in the morning he wakes up and his penis is like a skyscraper without windows." And so, I mean, those are like some
Oh,
of the
no.
funny elements. And then he's like, the doctor's pissed, because he's like, "Listen, at the end of the day, all us men, our morning rise and shine is more biological than sexual." He's like, "I will talk to my son," but he's mad. But the hot teacher's behind the principal the whole time, like laughing, like he finds this so hilarious. But yeah, so that's about the extent. Like, I'll have a funny thing here and there, because like humor is good, but I just don't know about writing a straight up rom-com. And people that do that, I give them props, because I just don't think I'm funny enough.
Yeah. I know. I think I'd have to send all my jokes to Gail, be like, read this. Did you actually laugh or no?
Now, Gail, you could write a rom-com, definitely.
She definitely
thank
can.
you. I have a few. I like to always make mine though like really awkward. Mine are always like super awkward situations.
I mean, more awkward than a son talking about his morning wood.
I don't know.
Are we done showing stuff?
Huh?
Are you done showing stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you were like waiting to go to another page or not, so I was like just chilling.
No. No, I'm gonna let you ask your questions.
All right. So Leigh, you had your release today, right?
On Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay. So do you do anything fun to celebrate when you have releases?
It depends. I didn't with this one. I was really nervous about this release, so I had planned to go and get my nails done and go out for lunch, and me and a friend had planned to do something, and she called me the night before, and I was like, I'm so nervous about this release. I'm afraid all I'm going to do on release day is cry, so you might not want to be a part of that. But no, one thing I do tend to do is I feel like such a weight off my shoulders. And I feel like I can do things that I've been putting off forever, which really isn't celebration because, I mean, it's normally chores or getting, caught up on giveaways. I had so many giveaways that I sat down yesterday while my husband and daughter were putting together furniture and sat and did giveaways, getting ready to send them out and stuff. But yeah, so that seems to be what I tend to do because my bedroom was crazy. I hadn't done laundry. I mean, my husband's like, hey, if you haven't done laundry for like 2 weeks, I feel like you have too many clothes. And I'm like, well, but I really hate doing laundry. So, I got caught up on laundry and I got, I cooked an actual real meal, things that...
Actually finally have time on my plate, right?
Yeah. And tomorrow I'm probably going to go get my nails done. And I'll probably start walking again because I have been not doing my daily exercise. So probably go for a walk, maybe start a new audiobook. I'm kind of boring. So
no, it's kind of nice. You get to like kind of relax and kind of treat yourself and just,
Yeah. You know that you're a mom when you're like, oh, you mean I can treat myself by like doing chores?
I can get some stuff that I actually need to get done. To me, that is kind of treating yourself because it's like one less thing I got to worry about for a couple days,
Yeah, exactly.
I have the time to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, I had, we got some new furniture this week too. So that was exciting for us to get because I hated my furniture. And every time I had a chance to tell my husband how much I hated my furniture, I did, which was several times a day. And so, we were just kind of celebrating the fact that, we finally got new furniture and, it's halfway decent. And so again, adult goals, like these are not the goals that as a young adult that I would have thought that I would celebrate, but apparently I do.
I know. It's the little things sometimes that make us happy, right? Where do you usually like to write at?
Well, I have an office, but that would mean I would have to go upstairs. And we live in a raised house, so we like park up underneath our first level. So I already have to go up steps to just go up to, sit in my living room. So then I'd have to go up a second set of steps. And so I normally will just take my computer, sit on the couch, get all comfortable, get all cuddled up, have my coffee, have my dog, who never like leaves my side. And, we sit on the couch and do that. Now that I have a reclining couch, I probably will do more writing on that.
There you go.
Although I was hoping that maybe I would be a little bit more motivated if I had a standing desk. So my husband put together a standing desk for me today so he could move his stuff up to the office. We only have like one space for it. And so I have the standing desk and I'm giving him my desk. So I'm hoping maybe, because I get really tired as I write too, especially in the morning. I mean, I do my best writing at like from 10 to 1 at night, but then I crash the next day and I don't like that. But so I'm hoping if I stand, maybe I'll be more productive. I don't know.
Okay. That was worth a try though, right?
Yeah.
So like when you sit down to write, can you just keep going, or do you have to like take breaks and plot, or like are you one of those people who can just like whip out a book like in a couple of weeks?
I felt like I used to be able to, but I can't anymore. I don't know if it's because I've used all my good stuff or whatnot, but I find it so much harder to write subsequent novels. Again, I will be like, oh dang it, I did that, or I've said that 10 million times already. But I can normally get the first 20,000 words done like in the first week, and then the next 40,000 words is like, pulling teeth. It's so hard for me. And I'll be, sitting there, I'll do 2,000 words in 1 week. And I'm like, well, that was, useless. But it's like, I know the beginning, I know the ending, but I don't know how my people are going to get there for the most part. Sometimes I will have an ending and I will have a middle and not the ending. I'm always missing something, but I don't sit down and plot. I've tried to, but I feel like that limits my creativity, because a lot of times things will just come to me as I'm writing and I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. So, I mean, I wish I could. I feel like sometimes it would be easier. But then again, I mean, I've tried it. I mean, I will sit down and write like your basic height, weight, color of eyes, age, names.
Even that's good. I don't think I even do that.
Especially last names, because I will go through a manuscript, especially if it's like a secondary character, and I will be like, why have I named this person like 3 different last names? Like at the beginning it'll be Jarvis, in the middle it'll be Smith, and at the end it'll be Jones. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should remember one name, like one last name. So I'm always like going back and changing them and stuff. But yeah, even sometimes it'll go to editing or to my proofer, which is normally the last part that it goes. She'll be like, do you know that you have 2 different names for this character? Or do you have 2 different Kates in your story? I'm like, no, just one. And they'll be like, yeah, you have 2 last names for them. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's pick the first one. Just pick the first one and go with it.
Right. I know mine is always, for some reason, eye color. Like the people's eyes will change colors throughout the whole book. Or if their eyes are like really light, I'll say, and then all of a sudden I'll talk about how dark they are later.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't make sense. I forget.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny how, and my best friend, she's always like, how do you remember this stuff? How do you come up with these ideas? I was like, well, number one, apparently I don't remember this, since my characters have 3, different last names. But, I don't know. I think that for any of us that sit down and write, there's just like this creativity thing that, you start with, A, and then you go to B, and hopefully we end at Z, somewhere along the line. I do remember this book. I had the beginning, I had the middle, but I didn't have the end. And so I'm sending my best friend's daughter a message, and I was like, hey, I'm writing this bonus epilogue with new characters. I really need you to come up with some unique names. I'm having a really hard time. And she's like, oh, did you get done with the book? And I was like, no. I've just skipped the whole ending, and I'm working on the epilogue right now, and then we'll go back to the ending. And she's like, so you don't know how it ends? I was like, no, I have no clue.
I don't really know how they want this to go.
Yeah. And it was like, probably
end it on a cliffhanger, and maybe you'll come back to it.
Exactly.
And just really make some people mad.
when it finally came, I'm like, well, that was simple. Why didn't I come up with that idea? Because I always try to have a little bit of element of suspense in all my books. I mean, not always, but I would say 90% of them have some sort of element of suspense. And I tack on, romantic suspense because of that. But yeah, so
Okay.
it's interesting how, I mean, I always say that my brain is a very scary place to be. So you just never know what's going to get lost in there and what I'm going to rattle out from time to time.
Yeah. All right. Who is your favorite couple or throuple that you've ever written?
Oh, wow. Now people say that's like asking to name your favorite
child is.
But, it's funny because I do have my favorite books. And I definitely have, characters that resonate with me a little bit more than others. I mean, all of them hold a special place, but I mean, I really liked the first throuple that I wrote. Elliot is the girl. And I picked a name like that because basically when they meet her, they think they're meeting, this male architect. And so it becomes like this big sort of, because she's alpha and one of the guys is alpha. And so they kind of go back and forth. And it's just like this huge pissing match on who is going to win and who's going to, pull out the W with this whole argument. Mm-hmm. But it's in the book Foundations and Elliot, and then the guys are already in a committed relationship, but they're looking for their woman. They're both bisexual. They want a woman to complete them. So when Arden meets Elliot, he's like, she's it. And he's like kind of more beta, very funny, always have to, he has to have like something funny to make everybody feel, at ease and stuff. And Damon's like, and he's the alpha, and he's like, hell no, until she ends up back with her ex-boyfriend, and he goes in and picks her up and puts her over. I love men who pick up their women and put them over their shoulder like a sack of potatoes. Yeah. I mean, I don't write that in every book, but I did write it in Luke and Aniston's book, and I'm like, man, I love those scenes. I love it when they do that.
The caveman.
Yes, exactly. Total caveman. So, but yeah, so that's one of those things. Sorry if I'm just looking for a charger right quick. Because I have kids that decide to take my chargers and then, leave me with.
Yeah. Don't return them.
Give me just a second so I can grab it, because I would hate to have my thing die.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Ashton, how you been doing?
I've been busy this weekend, but it's been going good. How are you feeling today? Hanging in there?
I'm hanging in.
Good. I'm glad. I know. It's a fun way to spend a Sunday night, though.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sitting somewhere new. Are you someplace else that is not home?
Yeah, I'm in Wichita.
Oh, sure, in Wichita.
Yeah, I'm stopping here to visit family and then going on to Denver.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember that the Denver signing was this weekend. I guess I just didn't know that you were going to stop somewhere first. Yeah. I was like, this isn't your normal kitchen, Gail. Where are you? Are you lost?
Yeah. It's really a good place to stop.
Oh, that's right, because Denver is this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went back and forth.
I was saying, Leigh, are you going to Denver?
No, I went back and forth. By the time I applied for it, they were full. And they were like, we have something for Friday if you want to come. And this year I had basically told myself I was not going to do any signings, except for one me and Gail were going to do together, because we had planned on that last year. But then, something came up and I could not, not do that. It was a family thing. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, the one thing, because we were going to go to Graceland. We were like, looking forward to it. So
yeah, well, it's just hard because the signings get booked so far in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is nice to have notice, but you never know what's going to come up by the time.
Yeah, exactly. But I am doing Charleston, and you're doing Charleston, right?
We both are. Yeah.
You both are? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
I was so excited.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I'm doing the Seattle one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So are you doing that one, Ashton?
No, I'm not doing the Seattle one next year. No.
Yeah. I'm from Washington State, so I wanted, I say at this point I'm going to do it, but I don't know. The last couple of signings I've gone to have been very hard, especially the last signing when with being so sick and stuff like that. I'm like,
I'm sure. Were you sick
but
during the whole signing or just at the end?
I wasn't, but Kelly, my PA, was, and then she actually got very sick, like really, really sick.
Yes. Okay, Gail did tell me about that. That's
yeah.
right.
And so
is she doing good now?
Oh yeah, she's doing great. I'm surprised. Well, I might not have told her. I'll get a message from her. She'll be like, why didn't you tell me you were on Cougar Talk? Sometimes I don't know if you guys are like this, but sometimes, I'll be like, oh, by the way, did you know that I have a cover reveal tomorrow? And she'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know I'm getting ready to send out ARCs? And she's like, what? So I'm always
do that
like,
to my PA sometimes too.
Yeah.
Poor Lori.
Yeah, I'm always like, sorry that you get stuck with the, the I mean, I just don't even have words. And she's just like, yeah, I'm used to you. But I mean, we've been together for 4 years, so she's totally used to me by now. But yeah,
Leigh, real quick, will you show us your paperback?
Oh yeah. This is
my gosh, it's even more gorgeous in print.
It really is it's a fun cover. I really like it.
Yeah. And and because he calls her well, almost all my men have like a nickname for their women, and it either drives readers crazy or they love it. But he calls her Heaven, and it's actually engraved in the necklace because the necklace is like when you read the book, it will talk about the necklace and it being like her everyday collar to wear, like she has a collar for the club, but a collar that she wears around and it says Heaven on it. And so that's what he gives her.
I love that that's on the cover. Like it makes it more personal to the story.
Yeah.
Like have those little like details on there. I love that with covers.
Yeah. And
that's
so now I'm like, oh, I wonder if we're having the cover for the next person, but yeah. But yeah, I enjoy I work really hard on my covers, and like I have this vision, and I'm like, and my designer is so patient with me. Oh my gosh, is she patient? So yeah, so I'm always like, oh, these turned out so good.
Mm-hmm.
Which is all homage to her, but yeah.
Yeah, that's nice that you guys have that kind of relationship though too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, is it that time, ladies?
It's that time. Are you ready, Leigh?
Are you ready, Leigh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can learn tonight.
All right. Oh.
So cute.
It's something.
Oh, hi. How are you, Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
All right. Sorry if my throat sounds off. But anyways, so it is adorbs, isn't it? So y'all may not know this, but
I probably don't.
I love to watch anime.
Oh.
I'm and I've gotten more adventurous. I started out with Ladybug and Cat Noir. My girls love Pokemon. And
so now what are you into?
Well, I'm into quite a few different ones, but I guess I've always kind of liked it. You know, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just gotten more and more into the more mature stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
So I haven't got to watch it yet, but I'm really excited. This was recommended to me.
Okay.
And it could not be more perfect of a type of show I would enjoy.
Uh-oh.
All right. So it's called
Food Wars.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I love food. Now, Leigh and Ashton, y'all have both been around me enough and at signings to know that I take eating pretty serious.
I love that about you.
The cheesecake. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm a very enthusiastic eater. So this show is about these students go to culinary school and well, this one guy, he works in a restaurant with his dad. But are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Tell us.
Their food gives them orgasms. Look at the
Ooh, look at that. Now that looks interesting. Look at that gift.
This kind of gives you an idea.
Oh, I need my glasses on for this.
And so I'm so excited to start this series.
And it's called Food Wars?
Yes.
Because my oldest, who is old enough to decide what she's going to watch for herself, she watches a lot of anime. And my little guy, he loves anime. And so because I know nothing about it, she is always my approval. Like, is this okay for him? Is this not okay? And so I'll have to ask her. Well, maybe I don't want to ask her if she's watched this
one. I'm like, don't watch this one.
No, I'm excited. And it looks adorable. But they have orgasms when they eat. And I'm like, how much better could it be?
I'm going to wait for it to come out on the K-drama so I can just watch it that way.
Look at the bacon. I mean, this is up my alley,
I mean,
y'all.
that's how I feel when I eat bacon too, though. So, I mean, I do like some bacon.
Oh, this is... I'm going to have to check this out.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Is this like one of the first like more adult animes you have watched?
Oh, no.
Okay.
But this is the first one where it involves food giving orgasms. And I feel like it was created for me.
It was targeted for you.
I am
target. Did it show up on your For You page somewhere?
But it's on Hulu. Already found it. I mean, come on, guys.
It is on Hulu? Is it really?
Yes. Foodgasms.
I got me some Hulu. I might have to go watch.
Have you... I'm trying to think some of the ones that my daughter watches. I know she watches Fruit Baskets. Have you watched that?
No.
That's the dirty ones.
Well, again, she's old enough to kind of choose her own. I mean, like, this wouldn't be what I would choose, but you know, when they turn 18, I'm like, oh, I guess you can kind of choose what you can watch at this point, I guess. If you can vote. So you can, but yeah. So is that a dirty one, Fruit Baskets?
I don't know. I haven't watched that one.
Okay.
But
I love this about you, Gail. Like,
I mean, I feel like this is me, right?
Like around some cheesecake.
Yes. Oh, you just had cheesecake lathered.
Just lathered on you.
It was after our signing. We are so very tired, me and Gail, and she's like, we're gonna go get cheesecake. So first we went to go get cheesecake, and she's like, I feel like we should eat before we eat all this sugar. So we go to, I think, Applebee's or something like that. Yeah. And the waitress comes over and is like, Well, I was going to ask if you wanted dessert, but it looks like you brought your own. Gail brought in cheesecake.
You brought it into the restaurant.
We were sitting there eating it. Now, I just bought me like a, just a regular cheesecake. It was kind of big. She bought like 12 cupcakes and she's eating every single one of them. And she's like, Leigh, you got to try this. This is so good. And then the waitress comes over again and she's like, okay, I just got to ask you because you guys are enjoying this cheesecake so much. Where did you get this?
I was having a foodgasm. Okay.
You.
Yeah. Yeah, just bring it into an Applebee's. I brought my own. Don't worry about it.
Why not leave it on the car? I was going to go back. What?
Yeah, I mean, it was Arkansas, June in Arkansas. It was going to melt. And so,
can you risk my cheesecake?
I mean, I just thought we were bringing it in to like keep it safe, and then she just like whips it out. We start eating it. I was like, oh, that was probably like one of the best weekends. I mean, the signing was okay, but I mean, the best part was like hanging out with Gail the whole time.
That is hilarious.
Well, here's the show I want everybody to watch. I'm going to start it.
I might have to check it out. I do have Hulu, so I'll have to try go down that rabbit hole maybe.
Great show.
Or like, I could just wait for it to come out on a K-drama.
So also, speaking of food, I was like wondering, so like what is the best food to have with sex? So
I mean, donuts wasn't really on my top 10, but sure.
Well, I like how it says, let me explain. You know how a dick requires a hole? And you know how a donut, that's a hole. It doesn't stop there. Heck, it doesn't even start there.
Where does it start?
So, how to use it, Ashton, right here.
Why is it a greasy little piece of sugar and sponge?
Well, don't you get glazed donuts? How do you get your donuts?
I like the cake donuts, kind of.
Oh, well, see, I like
cake
the ones
donuts with the white frosting and the sprinkles are like my favorite.
No,
the sprinkles might be a little bit harsh to the. I'm just thinking.
Well, this says lots of sprinkles onto his junk.
Okay.
Well, I guess
as far back as it goes.
Oh, this is like it is like a legit how-to. Okay. Like it just keeps going. Like step-by-step directions.
Play it up a bit when you're giving a job. Switch between licking off the icing and sprinkles. No, I don't think I would go with sprinkles. I love sprinkles. But I just like in that area, sprinkles could get in places where you wouldn't want to try to get them out of.
I mean, for him, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just feel it.
It's like sand.
No, you're just in time.
You're just in time for
sprinkles. Just sprinkles. Okay. Switch between licking off the icing, and we're gonna pretend like there's not sprinkles. To sucking the.
Those are my favorite part.
Then you gotta be careful here because you're only gonna bite the tip of the donut. You don't want to bite him. I mean, you could. But
I'm trying to think if a donut has a tip.
As you're giving his ball sack a mouthful, pun always intended. Wait, hold on.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, so
how are you supposed to chew your donut without?
Yeah, how are you?
Sounds dangerous.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out now. How are you supposed to have his? Does that mean like giving his ball sack a mouthful, like the ball sack in your mouth?
I don't know. I feel like
and then you're supposed to like reach over and bite the donut.
I don't know.
Something's gonna get pinched with the teeth.
Something's gonna get pinched with the teeth.
He's going to remember this one long after it's over, I bet.
Every time he sees a donut, he's gonna think about you.
Well, and every time he sees a donut, he's gonna think he's getting head. So I don't know if that's the best.
Oh yeah, trust he's gonna want you every time he sees a donut. But I just feel like the sprinkles, the biting, it just seems dangerous. I do like the idea of, you remember those toys?
I think if you're taking a bite and moving away, it's not as
Yeah,
bad.
I
If
don't
you're
think
trying to
anything
shove
else
it all
would
in
be
your mouth at the same time, that could
Yeah.
be dangerous. You could choke for real.
Yeah, that just seems dangerous. But I do like the idea of putting the donut on, because you remember those baby toys where you put the different size rings? Did that make you think of that? You know, the little things.
So you got a good one if the donut hole breaks a half.
I mean, I wonder how many you could stack.
I don't. Stop ruining kids' toys for me.
And then you get the little mini donuts for the end piece.
Gail, I have little kids still. He still plays with that.
Well, every time you look at it now,
No.
they can just stack in the donuts.
Go to number 9. I want to see what the next one
Yeah,
is.
I'm curious what's next.
Okay. You just don't want me to talk anymore about baby toys.
No.
Number 9 is ice cream.
Oh, well, that's pretty,
no.
Yeah. Sure.
It might be a little bit too cold.
Yeah.
There's sensitivity there.
Drop a dollop of chilled ice cream onto your navel and then let him eat it off.
Sure.
But
Uh,
I don't know.
That one's kind of, no.
I mean, seems like he got a lot more action on that first, the donut than you're getting on the ice cream.
So the donut's for him and the ice cream's for you.
Yeah, but
mango.
on the navel, yeah.
Mango pulp. Crush the mango pulp over his skin and let the pulp fall all over him. Then bury your lips, tongue, mouth, and face into his body like your life depends on it. Indulging in this phenomena where man meets mango and paradise awaits. What if you didn't know and he was like allergic to mangoes?
Oh, that's a good story.
Oh, that is a good story. One of us should write that.
There's your rom-com right there.
Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was going to happen. I was caught up in the moment. And I happen to have a mango right here.
It was rated number 8. Like, that's what you were telling. Butter.
Oh, see, we always heard you're not supposed to use butter.
Well, as a lube. This here is just like body butter. You just rub it.
I mean, I like butter, but not enough to like.
Yeah, I don't think I want to
during
lick it
that.
off.
Not during sex, no.
Molten cheese.
Oh,
Like a fondue.
Like honey on the kitchen counter as you feed each other.
like, especially cheese has a really bad smell to it. Let's not make it no.
Read that blast line. That's what some of the best sex is all about. Let it get messy.
Let it get messy. Lick, suck, and bite to all your free and glory.
Plus, I feel like cheese can get like stringy. So, if there's any like body hair, like. And
yes.
When you like try to like get like cheese off of dishes and like the wetter it gets, like it's just gross.
Yes.
So even trying to clean that up in the shower later is gonna be terrible. This is a bad idea. Go to the next.
I don't know. I was sitting there thinking about, do you bring chips into the mix as well?
So I get some bread and some pretzels.
Like, you can get a fondue fountain and just stick it.
It'd be really even more fun if you got him like all worked up and you're like, yeah, and then you bring in all this food. He's thinking you're gonna have snacks instead. Like, nope.
Like, this is for you.
Yeah, especially everywhere. The molten cheese.
Yeah.
Cake.
Sure, that could be fun. Why not?
You're
Frosting everywhere.
Smash and smear it. Yeah. Yeah. So you make it like a tickle contest, but with cake.
A tickle contest.
And after you've made a mess, you ought to clean him off with love.
Oh, hi,
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah.
Hey, did I tell you about this, Kelly? Or probably not.
I mean, I do love cake, but you know,
I love cake.
I'm gonna be honest. If someone took if I took cheesecake and they just smashed it on me, I would get mad. So I'm like, I want to eat that. Just give me my own slice and let me just set it on my boobs.
Here, just let me enjoy my piece up here.
Just saying. Chocolate syrup. Okay, yeah, we've heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so in one of my scenes with Luke and Aniston, there's a scene with chocolate syrup and whipped cream and strawberries. And he uses her as like a human plate, but they were just at like this BDSM club. And I'm thinking, they get home, he wants to use her as a human plate. And then, you know, all that nastiness from the club. So he makes her take a shower first. And then he uses her as a human plate with strawberries, cream, and chocolate syrup.
Well, I hadn't thought of Nutella. And this even says you can use a slice of bread. They encourage bringing other food, Ashton. You were talking about
bread. You're gonna have like a whole snack smorgasbord.
Yeah. You know, and let loose the power of thy tongue, woman.
And one of those where they call like a charcuterie board.
Maybe even dip his balls into some of it.
Well, there you go.
So you can just bring the whole, you know, wooden charcuterie board in with you.
You get chocolate, fruits on there, cheese on there, bread, you know.
I just feel like I just keep thinking about what if there's hair?
Say, get some stringy cheese in there.
And what if it pulls? I feel like this would be painful for a guy. I don't know. Oh, look at the puppy. Hello, puppy.
Oh, Georgia's saying hi to everybody. Every time I go on a live, I'm like, okay, you got to say hi to everybody.
The bird cage.
I get to the bird cage.
Oh, yes, the bird cage in my book. Yes,
like
there is a scene with the bird cage.
All right. Honey. That's another sticky one.
See, that seems real sticky. That would be like scary sticky. Like getting a wax sticky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It says you won't regret it.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that either. Okay.
Well, here it says for best effects, do this standing or sitting. Better still on a kitchen counter. Yeah, and this says think of it how you grease up your food just before you're ready to devour it.
Georgia.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Georgia, go to bed.
Even a massage. I feel like, honey, that would, I don't know.
I just feel like it's going to be like...
Could you imagine trying to give a massage and your hands get stuck?
They're like... No.
Oh, there you go. Wrap it in a fruit roll-up.
Oh.
Ooh. Might make it a little... There you go.
I still like the donut. I just want to play with different size donuts.
Okay, these are getting ridiculous. Condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
You know how
This has to be a reversed order of worst to best.
This here, I tend to eat it straight out of the can with a finger or two or three. I love how it just drips right off your fingers and down your lower lip. So why wouldn't you add some sex to it?
Yeah.
Fingers work their magic over his skin in various ways he won't stop worshiping you for.
I mean, I guess if you like condensed milk, yes. If you like honey, yes. Those would not be, either one of those would not be my go-to.
No, I wouldn't have. I mean, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have just been like, let me pop this can open and.
Yeah. Well, I was saving it to bake a cake later, but I guess right now is what we're using it for.
And the number one, whipped cream.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, see, spray some on the side of his neck, then lick it off. I mean, whipped cream seems safe.
Yeah, the butter I'm still a little bit worried about, and the honey, and the cheese.
Well, and condensed milk, I mean, if you've ever like cooked with it or anything, it's thick. It's like really thick.
I know. Your tongue is going to be like, yeah.
You're going to like lose all your ability to use your tongue if you're dealing with the condensed milk. So it kind of seems counterproductive to me.
Yeah. But, you know, whipped cream.
To each their own, to each their own.
I think whipped cream could be fun, though, because you can, you can make little designs. You can draw, like. Also, I think that would feel fun between the legs. It'd be like. I don't think I could ever be serious in any of those situations.
I feel like, oh, what are you doing? Was it snack time? I'd be all excited, like we're gonna, snacks in bed and watch TV, and nope.
It's the fondue for me. That one's still.
Yes, the molten cheese, not just any cheese, molten, hot, scalding, just like pizza, like burn the roof of your mouth, like.
Oh yeah.
Imagine what it would do to him.
Pass. I'll pass on the cheese and the butter.
All of this could be a way
honey.
to never have sex again with somebody. I mean, like after doing that, they might be like, "No, we're good. We're done."
I just want to be like, I got some cheese. Guess where this is going?
Okay. Just have some chips on hand in case they're not into it.
I was just joking.
We're not really going to.
I mean, unless you're into it. No, I think the whipped cream's the safest bet, honestly.
Okay.
And whipped cream's not even that messy. I mean, you can easily just like, And I do like the idea of donuts, just not with sprinkles.
You go back to the sprinkles every time.
And I love sprinkles. I just feel like they get in places and be itchy.
Yeah, it's kind of like, actual sex on the beach. It's like sand. It can get everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
It sounds better in a romance book than in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a shower. We're talking about
I mean,
better in romance.
A lot of things probably sound better in a romance book than in real life. I think I read something where like this person was talking about how things happen in a romance book, especially like after date night. But then, like you walk in, you have to pay the sitter and you need to get kids in bed and they want water and, all that other stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with the romance book.
Yeah. Well, that's my Cougar Talk, guys.
That's very good.
It was about food. Definitely, I got a show for you to watch that involves food and foodgasm.
I know. I'm gonna.
And then how to have a little foodgasm.
I'm totally gonna be checking that out.
Yeah.
All right, you got a little this or that for us. It's the Hangout edition.
Does it involve a fondue?
No, I reread over it. Nope. So would you rather hang out lunchtime or dinner time?
I mean, I'm good either way.
I'd say dinner time because then I skip all nighttime activities or like bedtime activities for my kids. Like I can skip all that and just give it to my husband and be like, Bye. I'm going to go out with the girls.
Yeah, maybe people don't judge you as harshly, too, depending on how many margaritas you want to have.
Yeah.
At lunch, they might be like...
Sure. All right. Go camping or go hiking?
Didn't we talk about this in another one?
That was a different one. That was a springtime activity.
Yeah.
Get in bed. Go to bed.
I'm gonna pick go hiking because you start and then you're done. Camping, I have to like spend the night and.
It could be fun.
I'll just go hiking. Take a quick hike. Come home.
Yeah, I would hike because I live in the like deep south where it's always hot and I'm not doing anything without air conditioning. So a tent in the middle of summer does not work for me. So definitely hike done and you feel good about yourself because you did something. Oh, hold on. Thought. Ask me and I'll be right back. Get back here.
We should go
the last one was Loche.
We should go camping.
We should go camping?
Yeah, why don't we go camping?
Because people get murdered while they're camping.
Okay, this is camping for me like you know, I need like a fifth wheel or something. Someplace where I can have AC.
Or at least something like that.
We can go somewhere where it'll be colder. Wait, Ashton, where you live?
I'm a glamper. I'm in Minnesota and I am not a camper. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
Kelly,
mosquitoes.
you're right, Kelly, because you know, like because it's cooler there. Like you don't need air conditioning in Washington State, but yeah, so
all right. I'd rather do an outing at a private pool or outing at a beach. I kind of go to the pool. I don't know. I like the beach, but it's kind of nice just to hang out with like your friends at a pool too.
Yeah, either way.
All right. Go to the bar to drink or at home to drink?
Well, wait. I have a question. The beach, are there bathrooms?
No. You gotta go in the ocean.
Oh, then never mind.
I'm sure there's like a porta potty nearby.
Porta potties. You know, that's my scariest way to die. Like, I'm so scared I'm going to get murdered in a porta potty or somebody will tip it over. Anyways, what did you say?
Go to a bar to drink or at home to drink?
At home, because then you can drink all you want. You don't have to worry about driving home.
I like to drink in hotel rooms with my friends.
Oh, where we get security called on us?
That's fun too. For me, it's all about like the mood. Like I have to be in the mood if I'm to go out to a bar to drink and hang out. You know what I mean? Or else I would probably prefer to be like at home. So I wouldn't have to drive, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to almost get arrested.
Almost get arrested.
Be there almost.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, because we had Katie there and she was the one that got us talked out of all that.
Yeah. I'm good either way.
All right. Massage or a spa day or a salon day?
Salon.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so does salon include like nails done and all that kind of stuff?
I would think salon would be like hair and nails, and then spa would be like massage and like a facial or something.
Okay,
yeah, I will do salon days, but I would like a spa day.
Yeah, I would like those.
You know, whatever I gotta do to get somebody's hands on me, you know, it's just.
All right, an amusement park or a museum?
Oh, amusement park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do like museums. Amusement park.
Okay. Concentrating really hard on picking it.
It, you know, like if it's like a museum, it's like somewhere, you know, in another country. That's really cool.
Yeah, that could be cool. You can see that.
Yeah. An amusement park? Are we talking like Six Flags or are we talking like Disney World? Yeah.
Disney World.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Disney World amusement park or a museum in Italy.
Ooh.
You got me where it hurt, Ashton. I like both.
Can't pick both. You gotta pick one.
Well, I lived in Italy, so I'll say
Look
Italy.
at you, Leigh.
Yeah.
Did you not know that about me?
I didn't know you lived in Italy.
I lived in Italy when I was in the military. When I was in the Navy, that's
No,
where
I
I
knew
met.
you were in the military, but I didn't know you lived in Italy. That's cool.
Yeah, we lived in Italy for 2 years. So
Wow.
and that's actually where I met my husband. Like my mom puts me on the plane. I'm like 21 or 22, and she's like, "Don't you go to Italy, marry an Italian, and have my grandbabies." Like, and so that's where I met my husband. But we were still like, he was North Carolina, I'm Washington State. So, he was like, she's like, "Well, this didn't help either."
You're like, yeah, but at least when we come home, we're on the same country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gail, did you pick?
No.
You
can't. I love Disney World so much, and I love Europe, so I can't decide. I can't.
All right, on to the next. A sleepover at home or a sleepover at a hotel?
What do you mean?
Me, I'm wondering who's all going to the hotel.
You mean like have people over at my house?
Yep, hang out at your home or hang out at a hotel.
Oh, hotel. I don't have to clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Or cook, right? Just ordering. Go out to eat.
That's terrible. Yeah, I know.
All right, the last one is a coffee shop or a milk tea shop.
Coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
Same.
You should ask a coffee shop or a cheesecake shop for Gail.
Now I gotta choose.
It's kind of like in Italy and Disney.
Yeah. Exactly. Are you getting coffee at Disneyland or cheesecake at the museum in Italy?
It's so hard to
All right, that's all I had for my this or that for tonight. So.
You're
still thinking?
No. I refuse to choose.
Well, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Yes, Leigh, thank you so much for being our guest.
Yeah, I'll come back on Cougar Talk anytime.
Anytime. We love having you.
Yes, you guys are fun. And we already know that we can get a lot in a lot of trouble together.
Yes, I can't wait.
It sounds like I can't go anywhere with you two.
Yeah. Well, it just wasn't. Well, it was a lot of us, but Katie did talk us out of getting kicked out. So
that's good.
Along with the Thanksgiving pizza that we all ate.
Yes, that was so much fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So
I can't wait to see both of y'all again.
I know. Charleston, I think, is the next time that we'll get together. So
yes,
that might be
I'm coming to Seattle.
Yes, Gail is coming to Seattle. That I can answer. So
I get Ashton there too.
Ugh, my 2024 is already booked, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to just stick to 2 signings a year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I find them fun. I mean, I'll have a lot of fun, especially when there's people there that I know and get friends with. But it takes a lot out of me.
It does. And I think I'm going to pull back in 2025. Want to start soon.
You can pull back in 2025 because you have.
I've already committed too much.
They'll only go to 5 instead of 8.
2025.
Yeah. So I mean, there are like 1 or 2 signings that if I ever got invited to, I'd feel like screw how many times I've already signed. I'm going to go to these, but for the most part, I'm going to try to stick with Charleston and Seattle, and then maybe something new in 2025. So but yeah, thank you for having me and letting me talk about my book and making me laugh.
Congratulations.
So all right, ladies, well, have a good night.
Yeah, everyone have a nice night. See you.
Bye.
Bye.